What's going on, guys? My name's Finn. I'm the social media content manager here at Bag Riders. On today's video, I want to cover everything about thread tape and thread sealant, so let's get into it. First thing I want to do is break down the pros and cons of each product. So let's start with thread tape. Now, the two main pros of thread tape are one, that it's super easy to use, and two is that it's super cheap, and it also comes in your air ride kit when you purchase it through bagriders.com. Now, there is a con to thread tape, and that is that if applied incorrectly, over time it could break down and a small piece can clog a valve in your manifold. So stay tuned because we're going to show you how to avoid that. So let's talk about the pros of thread sealant. Thread sealant has a higher pressure rating and also, if applied correctly, is going to create a longer lasting seal on your fittings. Now, the main con to thread sealant is that it is going to take up to 24 hours to cure properly. As well, it is also time consuming to apply. It is not as easy as thread tape. Another thing that I want to touch on with thread tape and thread sealant is going to be about the how and when to apply. Now, some fittings are going to come with thread tape already applied, some are going to come with thread sealant already applied, and some fittings are just going to come with no sealant applied. So starting off with the thread tape, if your fitting comes with thread tape already applied, I'm going to recommend that you add an additional 1 to 2 wraps of thread tape around the fitting to make sure that it seals properly. When it comes to thread sealant, like on this leader line, you aren't going to have to add any additional thread tape or thread sealant, you're just going to use it as is. Finally, for fittings that come with no sealant, we are going to recommend either 2 to 3 wraps of thread tape around your fitting or an even coating applied with your finger of thread sealant. So let's jump into showing you how to do that. So let me give you the basic and easiest way to think about how to properly wrap a fitting. What you're going to want to think about is spinning the fitting as if you were threading it into a port on your tank. So now we can get this fitting in one hand, the thread tape in the other, and get started spinning as if we were threading it into a port. Now we're going to do 1 to 3 wraps, depending on if you already have thread tape or sealant applied, and get ourselves a clean break. Smooth out the ends, and you're all set and ready to put it into your system. Now that your thread tape is applied, you're all set and ready to screw this sucker in. Now keep in mind, this is an NPT tapered thread, which means you don't need to tighten it as much as you think you do. First up, we're just going to get it hand tight in the port and add 1 to 2 additional turns. And just like that, your fitting is sealed properly in the port. All right, let's look at what happens when thread tape is improperly applied. As you can see, the thread tape did not go into the port, instead bunched up and caused this fitting to not seal properly. If you over tighten, you are going to risk cracking the fitting. Perfect, so that covers just about everything that you're going to need to know about thread tape, thread sealant, and making sure that you have an airtight system. And as always, for all your air suspension needs, head over to bagriders.com, your one-stop drop shop. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. It looks like Go-Gurt, but boy is it not. We should have figured out like something that's like edible that we could have just like cleaned this out and put inside so I could just like drink it.